Hey, folks that are watching the Geek News Central podcast, you know what I did tonight? The first 10 minutes of the show, I forgot to hit record. And you guys are going to miss a part of the show, but you don't have to listen to any of the other stuff. So we're going to continue with the show, and you guys can follow along. All right. Hey, one of our writers at Geek News Central, KL, has been doing a lot of walking. KL says, working at my desk all day on a computer, I wasn't getting enough exercise, and it showed. So I decided to, being a geek, I couldn't just walk. I had to measure everything. I do wear a Fitbit, which I really like. However, it has a limitation, no maps and sharing, and the sharing has never worked correctly for me. This is where she has started using Map My Walk, and it's available for both iOS and Android. And basically, you start the Map My Walk app when you begin your walk, and when you're finished, you hit the stop button. At this point, it will give you the option to save the walk, resume, or delete the walk. If you choose to save the walk, you can share it then to Facebook or Twitter or anyone else. So this is a pretty cool thing. I know some folks have been doing like these 10,000 steps a day type of plans out walking. So a pretty cool little app. I've definitely checked it out. Adding it to my iOS device already, and or have added it to my iOS device already, and we'll see how it works out. I'll start sharing some walks with you guys. Again, if you want to reach out to me on the show here at Geek News, of course, you can follow me at geeknews@gmail.com is where you can email. And, of course, the hotline is available at 619-342-7365. All right, Andrew has written a pretty good article on the new Hero 3. And I tell you, these little mini cameras are pretty awesome. There's a lot of these versions that are out. A lot of companies are putting these out. GoPro is obviously the one of the most famous groups that have put to these cameras that people are wearing when they jump off buildings and skateboarding and just about every other application you can think of. But they've announced the latest edition of the line of action cameras, the Hero 3 Black Edition, and it's capable of 4K video recording at 12 frames per second and 60 frames per second at 1080p. This is pretty amazing if you think about a 4K video. So if you want to show off your extreme adventure, this camera to have. It's pricey though, $399, and there are lesser models available at $299 and $199 for the silver and white variants, respectively. As expected, there's of course a range of accessories for attaching cameras to machines, helmets, bodies, and other sporting equipment. The Black Edition will be out in November, and so definitely check out the video on the website, and it'll give you an indication how well the Hero 3 works. So pretty awesome camera. And I really haven't. I'm probably one of the few people that have really held back on buying one of these because I've been really trying to figure out what the best application for it would be. And I've always thought about doing a drive show of some sort, and just wondered if that would potentially be good enough quality to use. I don't know. But definitely something worth checking out if you're looking to pick up one of these GoPro cameras. All right, now a little more serious note. CNET's reporting that some kids were suspended for seeing a topless picture of their teacher on a school iPad. So what was going on? Well, kids are playing with a school provided iPad when lo and behold they click on a folder and see a picture of their teacher topless. They've been suspended, and I'm thinking to myself, why were these students suspended when they were using a school purchased iPad, and they were basically being kids and using the iPad? They didn't know there was a picture of their a teacher on there. So it's bizarre to me why this has happened. This is it's not their fault that she had her photo in there. What was going on was the teacher was syncing her iPhone to the iPad for whatever reason, probably using it when she wasn't supposed to be, and had it set up as her own personal device or something. I don't know. But long story short is that the picture ended up on the device. The kid saw it, and then they were suspended. So I'm looking to see where this story goes. But it's not their fault. Kids probably got a kick out of it. But the school has definitely went high and right on this one. Now, here's something that you should also be aware of. A lot of apps now, a lot of iOS apps, when you snap a picture, I know that the Google Plus app will automatically take any picture that you send and push it up into the Google Plus photo cloud. And for me, I don't want just all pictures being sent to the cloud. So make sure, and of course, these are not viewable unless you make the settings so that they are viewable. So be careful when you're taking pictures with your phone and the apps that you're using, because many of them will go to the cloud, and of course they will sync to another iPad. So if your wife's using if you and your wife are sharing an iPad, every picture that you have may be syncing. So you got to watch those settings. So just be careful out there with your taking photos and how these apps are grabbing photos and putting them some places. So hopefully all of you have the settings set on so that they're not being dropped and made public, because you may have an opportunity to have taken a picture of something you maybe didn't want to share. You will go to the cloud. And you could end up having a very embarrassing moment, especially if it's your significant other or girlfriend. So be careful with the cameras out there, okay? Hey, Verizon has drawn fire for monitoring app usage, browsing habits. Now, this is really something to listen to. The CEO, now Bill Diggins, U.S. Chief for Verizon Wireless, says we're able to view just everything that they do. Now, that's incredible. So that means databases showing whether customers own pets. They're sharing that information. They're taking that data and basically selling it. This company this month began offering reports to marketeers showing what Verizon subscribers are doing on their phones and other mobile devices, including what iOS, Android apps are in use in which locations. Verizon say it may link the data to third-party databases with information about customers' gender, age, and even details such as sports enthusiast, frequent diner, pet owner, and so forth. So this is incredible that they're calling this initiative Precision Marketing Insights. Now, this is legal because the information is aggregated and doesn't reveal customers' identities, but it does link. They know who this linked person, they don't know who you are, but they have this profile of you. And I'm sure they can't figure that out with any other data. Also, the company says that customers can opt out anytime. So I'm trying to find out how we can opt out of this, how we can tell Verizon don't share our data. Um, a staff attorney at the EFF said a wireless carrier that discloses information about which URLs a customer visits could run afoul of the Wiretap Act. In general, the law says carriers may not divulge the contents of any communication. So, I agree. I don't see any real difference here between collecting content from one person and turning it over to someone and collecting it from multiple people. It's all very, very a steep, nasty hill here. And so this is not good. And for Verizon to come out and publicly say this is pretty incredible. Um, so this was in a video where it was posted at an industry event sponsored by PricewaterhouseCoopers in Los Angeles, and basically he was bragging about their monitoring. Um, we're able to analyze what people are viewing on their handsets. If you're at a even if you're at an MLB game, we can tell if you're viewing ESPN. We can tell if you're viewing MLB. We can tell what social networking sites you're activating. If you're sending out mobile usage content that's user generated on video, blah 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 blah. Um, this is scary. It really, really is. And it just goes to show you there's so much money for these companies to be made on mobile intelligence that they're basically taking that and selling it. So probably they make as much money off this data as they do off your subscription. So be very, very careful. Send your word of displeasure to Verizon that you don't like this, and please opt out. Really, really. Now, at the same time, um, and I don't know if this is a joke because this is over on Slate. Slate. Uh, okay, I'm going to just cover. I popped this and didn't realize it come from Slate. It says a new surveillance-proof app to secure communication has governments nervous. It's called Silent Circle. Promise to make encryption easy for everyone. It looks like a pretty long article. So anyway, I will have this up in the show notes. You guys can read about it. I'm not going to go any further into detail on it, just because I don't know how much legitimacy this article is based on Slate's reputation for posting stuff that isn't always necessarily on the mark. But I will say that Naked Security at Sophos.com is talking about Apple resuming user tracking with iOS 6, and they have a demonstration or a tutorial on how to disable it. So, Apple got caught last year with its hands in the cookie jar when privacy experts published the use of the UDID to track the online preferences of iPhone and iPad users. So, like the UDID, the IFD, now there's a new product called IDFA, and it's basically an identifier for advertisers. The IDFA uniquely identifies your Apple device, and websites that you browse with your iPhone and iPad device can request the IDFA. Unlike UDID, however, the IDFA can't be tracked back to an individual. It merely links a pattern of online behavior with a specific device. Also, unlike UDID, IDFA can be disabled within iOS though Apple leaves it enabled by default. So they give you information here, and basically it's real simple. You click on Settings, you go to the General Access, you click on General to access the General Settings, you click the About button, scroll down, and click on Advertising, and then set Limit Ad Tracking to On. This is what you want, limit ad tracking to on the device, and that's going to limit the amount of data that's sent back on you when you are on the web. I think everyone should do this to increase the privacy on their iOS device. Sprint Nextel has taken control of Clearwire after increasing their stake to 50.8%. A security filing is basically saying that Sprint/Nextel has acquired 50.8% of Clearwire, giving them control of the firm. The deal comes after buying out Eagle River Holdings, who had some stock, and it basically pushed them over. So this is all subject to some security stuff, and of course AT&T's not happy, but Sprint is going to have a majority control over that. And it's kind of interesting now that they're being bought themselves. So this is a pretty big deal. All right, moving on to the digital publishing side of the fence. It's being reported that Newsweek, yes, Newsweek, is going to drop their print edition after December 31st. Now, this is huge for them to actually quit printing Newsweek. So the paper portion of Newsweek is going to be gone, and they're only going to have digital in it from there. I think it just spells the end of Newsweek. It wasn't that compelling of a piece before, and but it's an 80-year history. It's gone. Sayonara. But it'll be available digitally, so we'll see how they do. I think that just spells the end of a lot of different sites or a lot of different periodicals that'll be going digital. Here's the thing too. What I find is I subscribe to about 10 periodicals through Zeno, and oftentimes I forget. And I'll load the app, and I'm like, oh man, I missed 2 editions of Scientific American, or I missed an edition of Consumer Reports, and I have to go back and go through them and stuff. It just isn't that compelling anymore and plus all the print ads are still there. It really doesn't make a lot of sense. Going to their websites is a lot more viable than actually getting the digital version of the same thing you can get delivered to your home. Of course, many of you like to have that reading material in the reading room and have it available. Here's a little tip. If you can't afford to get like Newsweek and Entertainment Today and all those different types of periodicals, the library oftentimes, and they'll be a little out of print a month or so after they've come out, they will make them available, and you can just get them from the library for free. And they give them away, and you have to find out what day they do that. That way you can go out and get some of these type of magazines that you may not subscribe to, but may have some good reading for the reading room. Okay. Hey, Tweetbot for Mac reaches the Mac App Store, keeps the third-party Twitter client alive. So this is big. When Twitter put out the strict new API, there was doubt as whether or not third-party clients like Tweetbot for Mac would be making a reappearance or being updated. And but it's available now. Tweetbot for Mac is on the App Store. So if you like that, you can update it. Definitely check it out. All right. Also for the Mac, for those of you that like to play old school games, Good Old Games now supports Mac. Kicks off with approximately 50 games that you may have grown up with or used. That means that classics like Syndicate and Wing Commander are now offered through the service. Not to mention classics like The Witcher 2, The Assassins of King, and so they're even offering a variety of discounts, including a 50% off SimCity 2000, as well as an Apple flavored commercial version as well. But anyway, so if you definitely check it out, Good Old Games, GOG.com, and you can check out the promo they have for all the old school games that you may have played before, but get them now on your iPad or on your Mac. Very, very cool. All right, so I was looking. Ace Adulter, I've followed his site for a long time. He works with the Mozilla Foundation, and he actually linked up an article that showed the first Windows 8 TV ad. And I watched it. It's a 30-second spot, and they really did a good job here. Now, to keep from having a copyright violation, I'm not going to play the ad here on the show because it'll get flagged by YouTube and everyone else. So definitely check this out. Check this link out in GNCShowNotes.com, and you'll be able to watch this video if you want to see how they're portraying. They did a pretty good job on this ad. They really did. So, of course, with the money they're spending on advertising Windows 8, it's not surprising. All right, here's a little tip for you, and I found this over at lifehacker.com. If you ever wanted something to really be able to clean out and around your keyboard and your computer and between all those little fan holes and everything, well, you know those like ketchup bottles that you see in restaurants? Well, why don't you take one of those? And they're recommending that you just basically take one of those ketchup bottle lids and put it on the end of your vacuum, and it'll hold it there by suction, and you can use that into a ketchup squeeze bottle top to use it as a vacuum for your computer. So anyway, a little tip by by Lifehacker, a cheap way to have a basically a little wand that you can use to clean your computer with. So pretty ingenious. Hey, lots of articles starting to pop all over the place. The Verge has a good write up on basically the copyright alert system that's basically being launched, and talking about everything that is going to happen here in the coming weeks as this kicks out. So there's lots of coverage on this, and ours has something too as well, talking about the 6-strike rules and how the appeal process is going to cost you $35. I think the question I have for all of you that I want all of you to really provide me feedback on is this. We've talked about the 6-strike process quite a bit on the show already, and I'm just asking anonymously for those of you that are doing peer-to-peer stuff, especially if you're downloading music and movies. What is 6 strikes going to do for you? What are you going to do differently with this new 6 strikes law? I'm really kind of curious. I'm curious what if you guys are, I know probably as big as this audience is, we've got a number of people that are using peer-to-peer programs to download stuff, videos, movies, and so forth. What are you guys going to do with this 6 strike thing? How are you going to prevent, or how are you going to keep from getting caught? And how are you going to react if you get one of these letters for the first time? Now, this kind of ties into, I should have had this stacked here. Let me see if I can find it. Mega Upload has talked about his new, or Kim.com specifically, is talking about his new service that he's getting ready to launch. And he basically is coming out with this new service and a new digital storage locker. And what he's going to be doing is they're going to call it Mega, and they describe it as a unique tool that will solve liability problems faced by cloud storage services. And it's going to enhance the privacy right of internet users and provide themselves with a simple new business. And what it's going to essentially do is they're going to provide a third-party application that when you get ready to upload something to Mega, you're going to encrypt that file before you send it off, and you're going to be issued a key. And then whoever you share the file with, whether it be a document or some sort of copyrighted material, you can share that key with the person downloading it that will be able to unlock it. So that if the servers are ever once again seized by the government, basically all it's going to be on the Mega site is encrypted files. So they're going to use advanced encryption standard algorithm, and it's just going to be a one-click encryption right in the client's browser. And so this is how they're going to protect themselves and those folks that are actually uploading stuff. So I'm thinking about this. Okay, Six Strike is coming. They're going to relaunch Mega. They're going to make it so you can encrypt and upload files. So it's almost like SneakerNet. Let's say, for example, someone bundled a movie, encrypted it, sent it up, and then sent emails to all their friends saying, hey, I got such and such movie online. If you want it, download it. And by the way, here's the code to unlock it. You would be downloading encrypted data. They wouldn't be able to tell what you're downloading. So in certain circumstances, you're really going to be protected in transferring of media, but it's all going to be on a trust basis. Now, here's the thing that I wonder what will happen. I wonder if there will be a place where basically a business will be built, a separate business that does nothing but sell keys. Keys to unlock files that are put up on this service. So you just wonder if it's, like in Japan, when you go play pachinko, gambling in Japan is illegal. So you go into the pachinko parlor, you play games, you acquire points, you get ready to leave. You get a little slip of piece of paper. It's got some information on it. You walk out of the pachinko parlor. You go very close to another location that's not in the same building, and you turn in your slip, and guess what you get? You get the cash. So that's how in Japan the pachinko parlors essentially subvert the law. So is Mega going to help people subvert law when the peer-to-peer tracking goes in and they're basically sending you letters saying, hey, you're using a peer-to-peer service, you're downloading copyrighted material? It's going to be interesting to see how this all washes out, but I'm really curious by all of you, what are you going to do? How are you going to prevent the if you're using peer-to-peer, how are you going to prevent being caught? Again, if you send me an email, I'll keep it anonymous, and especially put on the Todd Anonymous, and I'll share with you guys what your guys' plans are. This is specifically for people in the United States that are going to be affected by the Six Strike law, which is going to go in effect on majorly all ISPs. Now, the next question is, there going to be an ISP that pops up that goes into business that does not support Six Strikes? That's the next question. I doubt it, but it could happen. All right, Apple has removed Java from all OS X web browsers. This is an update, an example of Apple's distancing itself from Oracle. And so now there is no more Java that's being distributed with Macs. So Windows Update is the latest example here of them really kind of forcing their hand. And of course, we know Apple stopped including pre-installed versions of Java in OS X and instead give users the option to install the framework. But this new update turns off Java in the browser when users haven't used it recently. And that's kind of an interesting move. And that we know that Java has been one of the most widely exploited software packages, and this is really due to the wide availability of computers running OS X and Linux because of their ease. Hackers have been cracking vulnerabilities in Java. So this is big. I know there's a lot of software out there that runs on Java that is probably going to affect some of you out there that use different types of applications online. All right, next door neighbor, there's an Earth-sized planet discovered in our nearest star system to us, only 4.3 light years away. And the planet has a mass about the same size as Earth. It's also the lightest exoplanet we've ever found, discovered around a sun like our star. They feel, though, it's too close to the sun, probably can't support life. It's a little hot, but scientists are pretty excited. They say this could really be proof that there's more planets in those areas. So only 4.3 light years away. Not a difficult distance if you can travel at the speed of light. All right. Also, many of you in the Los Angeles area were able to watch Endeavor's 2-day drive through LA. They've got a great video here that shows you the move in 3 minutes. And this is over at universitytoday.com. I'll have the link up in the show notes for you to check out. As well, the NASA folks have basically said that the shiny object found by Curiosity rover are likely indigenous to the planet. They feel that it's not from the rover. And so they're pretty excited. And as the science team thought about it more, they said the bright object about the same size as the granules of dirt, that it's and that it's in the it's not uniformly bright. We went back and forth. The majority of the science team thinks this is indigenous to Mars, and offers great scientific research and insight. So they're pretty excited about that. It could be a different class of mineral of some sort, but anyway, they're thinking it's native to Mars, which is make for some good science as we move forward. Oh, that was nice. I'm getting an ad when I loaded TechDirt. Thanks, TechDirt, for giving me that nice intro to an ad there. Oh, every time you hover, let me show you guys this. When I flip this, you guys have seen these types of ads, right? When you go over the top of them, they go, watch this. Move the mouse over and it starts playing. All right, the Dutch have proposed powers for police to break into computers, install spyware, and destroy data anywhere in the world. And this is a law that's being proposed in the Netherlands. So this is pretty incredible. On October 15th, the Dutch Ministry of Justice and Security proposed powers for police to break into computers, install spyware, search computers, and destroy data. Those powers would extend to computers located outside the Netherlands. And it says if the Dutch power gets the power to break into foreign computers, this gives other governments the basis to break into Dutch computers, which infringes the laws of their country. The end result could be less security for all computer users instead of more. This is even more true with regards to the power to destroy data on foreign computers. Likely that the government would be very interested in using such power against Dutch interests. So this is pretty incredible that they're considering this. It really, really is. Again, feel my voice going here, so let me take a shot of water. Nissan has developed a emergency auto steering system, and basically it's a new technology to help drivers avoid crashes. Of course, Nissan and other Japanese automakers already produce vehicles that can automatically brake if the car in front of them suddenly stops. But Nissan announced on Wednesday a new computer system that automatically steers the car to avoid colliding with objects in the road. The system relies on radar and laser scanners, also uses a front-mounted camera to provide information on what's happening outside the car. Using information from those devices, the system decides to act if a collision can not be avoided for braking. The system first alerts the driver to turn in a certain direction. If the driver cannot immediately turn in that direction, the system takes over the steering to help avoid a collision. Kind of scary that your car is going to take over for you. Just really wonder how effective this really, really will be. One thing I didn't, I guess I did. I covered the Surface pricing with versions $499, $599, and $699. But I do want to give you guys some insight. I should have covered this earlier. Here's the comparison on pricing between the Surface RT 32 gig and the new iPad 32 gig. It's $100 cheaper. The Surface is. It basically, the keyboard is a little more higher. It's 119 versus 69 for the iPad. Screen cover is $0. The iPad is $39. Total cost of the Surface RT 32 gigs is $628 versus $707 if you buy a keyboard and a screen cover with your iPad. If you add Word, spreadsheet, presentation like PowerPoint, Excel, that's all $0. All it doesn't cost you anything to add that. Note taking OneNote is on there already. So again, total cost is $628. Where if you had to buy the apps from on iOS, they're all $10 each, and Apple's version of those. So it looks like they're trying to compete here with the iPad. So Windows lovers, you're gonna, you got an opportunity here, and just wonder how many of you did pick up a order this new Surface. Love to hear from you at Geek News, or drop me an email at geeknews@gmail.com. Now, along with that, the folks over at PC World have put together a pretty cool article on 15 hot Windows 8 hybrid notebooks and tablets. So they've got some basically the details on a variety of different devices made by different manufacturers that are available. You can go through those and review them and see which one you think is going to fit your budget. And I think one thing is pretty sexy is the Sony Tap 20 looked pretty nice. Its price is $880 though. The Asus Vivio Tab is $650. The Sony Duo 11 Ultrabook is $1,100, but I believe that's going to run the full version of Windows 8. And then again, a lot more selections here on again Windows 8 hybrid notebooks and tablets that are going to be available. HP has a pretty sexy one as well, and of course the Microsoft Surface RT. Again, this does not run the full version of Windows, so just be aware of that. It only will run the app version. That's the way the RT designator. And of course, Acer has a product out there. So all of them are, basically $600 to $1,200, and but we don't know what the MSI slider pricing is going to be. But anyway, there's some options for you when you're considering picking up a Windows 8 notebook or tablet. So let me go ahead here and switch to the next topic. Let me see, what am I doing for time? Where am I at? We're okay. Gonna go a little long tonight, but there was a lot of good news. IE10 for Windows 7 coming in November, so that's going to be available shortly. Boy, I tell you, they're popping out new versions as well on a regular basis. The gaming and entertainment industry are starting to complain about the telecoms and their ability to keep the speed of the internet increasing. They're basically saying no matter how fast your new graphics card is or how much RAM in your console, the biggest limitation for gaming at this point could and is the internet connection. So there's been in the Broadband World Forum in Amsterdam this week, they were complaining. He says, "Hey, telecom and internet service providers, you're holding us back in many respects." He told the audience this and said, "Hey, we can't innovate any further because we don't have enough. The internet's not fast enough to support it." So he urged the outlets to increase their bandwidth capacity beyond what is needed at the moment. And he drew an analogy to the London sewer system of the late 19th century, which was designed at 6 times the necessary capacity to prevent the need for later upgrades. I don't know how long that lasted, so maybe someone in London can tell me, but so we'll see. We'll see if this resonates with them. I doubt it. No one's moving very fast and bringing higher speed internet to us. In a shopping order, Apple has been dealt a double blow by a U.S. judge, and they're saying Apple should be forced to reveal sensitive information about its profit margins. This is big, and they also lost a legal battle in Britain as well. The judge who presided over the high-stakes court battle between Apple and Samsung has ordered key data used as evidence in the case to be made public. This includes details about the iPhone's maker sales, profits, and margins. Of course, Samsung was ordered to pay $1.05 billion in a patent battle. The U.S. court is unconvinced that Apple has not established that public availability of its product, specific unit sales, revenue, profit, margins, and cost data would actually provide its competitors with an advantage. So this is all part of the litigation that's ongoing. So they're going to appeal to the U.S. Court of Appeals and examines whether the data should be made public. But two big losses for Apple here. And you want to sue somebody and you want to try to collect on damages, you need to prove, you have to bring that data out in the public. So what happened in the UK was that they were found non-infringing. So basically, Apple may have to pay to advertise that they were not infringing on that Samsung was not infringing. So this is big. It really, really is. So this is two losses again for Apple in a single day. All right. Profits, earnings, Windows was a little bit down on revenue. They had 16.01 billion in earnings per share of under 53 cents, are under estimates, so they'll probably take a hit. Google accidentally published their earnings before the close of the stock market today, which caused a 10% hit on their stock price. So that was in the news, and they're not happy about the company that accidentally released that. A couple of things I found today that were kind of cool as well as an app called Placecast. It links nearby offers with your credit cards. But basically, Placecast is adding card-linked offers to its Shop Alerts location-based offers platform. Now users can get a message about a nearby deal and then redeem it with a swipe of their credit or debit card. So that's kind of smart. Placecast has about 160 customers who have used it. Shopping alerts include AT&T, Starbucks, L'Oreal, The North Face, Subway, Pizza Hut, Kmart, and HP. So definitely check this out. Check out Placecast, the app. Verizon LTE activations boom after iPhone 5 intro. They've had a huge. They activated a record 4.5 million 4G LTE devices in the third quarter. Though it was only, of course, the iPhone 5 was only introduced in the final week of September. 10 days of iPhone 5 sales probably had a lot to do with those a big boost in sales. Verizon's earning call revealed that they had 651,000 iPhone 5 units in the final weeks of third quarter. So while the iPhone 5 did have an impact, quarterly LTE activation is not responsible for the million plus boost. So that's an update to this article I'm reviewing. So Verizon's moving on up in the LTE world. All right, last couple of articles here. Amazon is basically, there's lots of new stuff coming from Amazon. High-end analytics, small bite-sized chunks of infrastructure, more enterprise options, deeper integration, and more capabilities for those of us using Amazon services. So look forward to that. For the geeks out there, you'll definitely want to check that out. Last article, I believe. Did I cover that one? How come that jumped ahead? Covered that. Oh, here we go. Parents, you got kids taking science classes? You definitely want to turn them on to the periodic table, a game, and it's a board game. So if you have a chemistry exam coming, you can learn about the periodic table by playing a game. So kind of a cool thing. It might be fun for the teenagers in the house to get up to speed when they get ready to have a chemistry exam. Okay, let me go ahead and see what I've got here for email. I don't know if we had very much. Alan had turned me on to the new Chromebook. Thanks for that, Alan. Appreciate it. Got an email from Andrew. He said, "Hey, Todd, you interviewed our company president, Mike Simmons, at CES 2010. A great story. Check it out. 2 videos." And basically, he's talking about, we covered a company that had an app that would start their car. And they've got now a new app where Siri, basically, there's called Viper SmartCast. Siri's integrated into it, so you can have Siri start your vehicle. So it's pretty cool. Got an email here from Edmund. He said, "Hey Todd, have you seen this fan-made web series of Toss? James Donahan's son is in it." So I have that. James Doohan's son is in it. I don't know who James Doohan is. Anyway, I'll have that link up for the YouTube. It's basically for you Star Trekkie fans, of course. Got an email from Richard, and basically says Pirate Bay moves to cloud, becomes raid-proof. Got an email here from Tim. Says, let me see, what was the date on this? Yeah. So, Todd, I became aware of this story through the local talk radio station I listen to here in Southern California. I debated sharing, but wised up as I realized it's important for the message to get out for both teens and parents. And this is really a sad story, and I want all of you that have kids that are using technology and going to school. It's tough out there, so listen to this. He says, this article is a sad story about a 15-year-old girl who ended up committing suicide. It has a tech aspect, though, because while I'm usually sick of anonymous cyber warfare crimes, they may have brought this bullied girl some justice in a way only they can. I use the term justice loosely because no amount of justice can make up for the living heck this girl went through, and of course, her unfortunate committing of suicide. She said essentially a 30-year-old pedophile tricked a 15-year-old girl into exposing herself to him and took pictures. He then threatened to release those pictures if she didn't continue. When she refused, he released those pictures and made this poor girl's life a living hell. No matter where she went, he continued to harass her and release the pictures in every new school she went. The anxiety and depression became so great that she made a video by chronicling her story with note cards without saying a word, and then committed suicide. The final straw for the anonymous was when the pictures of the deceased girls, nude body were released, and the group hunted the guy down, exposed a considerable amount of info on this guy, including proof he was a bully, along with chat conversation, his Facebook profile, his address, and Google Map pics of his house. I found out he is luckier than he knows because he is currently arrested awaiting trial on another sex crime related charges. He says we all deserve our day in court no matter what, but if this really is the guy, he better pray for a life sentence because I think it would be a death sentence for the police to release him back into society. And Tim, there is a lot of danger out on the internet right now, and um, my sister shared with me that they had a little incident with my two nieces doing some chatting online with people they didn't know, and basically got their privileges severely restricted. I think for a month, phones taken away, computer access taken away. Lots of family discussions on why this is dangerous. I think we really need to talk with our kids really we got to make sure that they know that these type of predators are out there. Now, it's sad that this girl has committed suicide, but where were the parents on this and knowing what she was doing online? Parents, please don't let your kids just have the computers in their rooms. Make sure the computers are where you can monitor them. Kids are going to hate it, but they'll thank you later. They really will. And my kids are not allowed to take the iPad, take anything into their rooms. The computers have to be used in the living room. They can't be turned around where we can't see them. I don't go snoop. I let my kids, have a decent amount of free reign on the internet. Basically, they know at a moment's notice that Dad can go and pull the logs and look at everything that they visited, because I've told them that's what I'm doing. But at the same point, you just if you just do your best to tell the kids what they can and can't do, and make them aware of these type of dangers. It's really sad that it led to this girl committing suicide, but I just can't imagine my 16-year-old having pictures of her being posted online. It's got to be incredibly difficult for a teenager, even adult. It would be terrifying. First of all, no one wants to see. Why? I just. Yep, sad story. Thanks for sharing, Tim. I do appreciate it. Love to hear you guys' feedback. geeknews@gmail.com. If you've got comments, anything that's happened in your household, where you draw the line, how you enforce it, and maybe we can share that with other family members that Ohana here that listen to Geek News Central. Last email here is, Todd, you were probably around when Space 1999 was on TV during the 70s. I don't remember that one. I love watching the show when I was younger. They are bringing it back, Space 2099. He says, I'm about to pee in my pants with excitement. I used to have countless models of the Eagle ships, cause the darn landing gears kept breaking off and so forth. So anyway, he has to link up this in the show notes. I don't remember this. Maybe if I see the video, I'll remember. But Edwin, thanks for that. Okay, that's it for the show tonight, folks. Those of you that are watching the video portion of it, sorry you got only a partial show. And I want to take a moment, of course, to remind all of you that are watching late, definitely check out our sponsor, GoToMeeting, and go over to GoToMeeting.com and get a free trial over there by using the promo code podcast. And also definitely check out GoDaddy.com. Save 20% off by using Go20Off2 on the promo code at GoDaddy, along with Unlisted2 to get that free unlisted listing with a .com purchase. Again, my name is Todd Cochran. It's been my pleasure bringing the show here live in Texas, or as live as it can be. And I want to thank you all for hanging out. It's been my pleasure to have brought you the show today. You take care, and we'll see you back here Monday in Texas for another show. Now, another 2 shows on the road. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. Until next time, everyone take care. We'll see you next time. Aloha.